Usikuenge hivyo pia wewe. Sasa tuko na Adrian mara mbili hapa. Davido, Adrian mara mbili. Tuko na Adrian mara mbili hapa.
Naam. Swadakta.
Guys, tumekula nyama. Baada ya kukula nyama, tumepewa 2,200 ya fare. Yani, unalipwa kukula. Kampuni kama hii unatoa wapi? Mtu alisema chakula itanioa. Heri. Kuna Adrian mara mbili hapa. Heri chakula iniowe tu Mwenyezi Mungu. Mungu anajua. Furaha yangu niliekeza kwa kukula. Kila mtu ako na mali aliekeza furaha yake. Kuna mwenye aliekeza furaha yake kwa kucheza mpira. Kuna mwenye aliekeza furaha yake kwa kuenda kucheza golf. Kuna mwenye aliekeza furaha yake kwa kuenda kucheza pool. Kuna mwenye aliekeza tu furaha yake kwa kupigananga tufua. Mwingine furaha yake ni kutusi watu. Lakini mimi signature yangu na furaha yangu iko kwa kukula. Wakininyima chakula, tuwezi elewana. Olimbwe na ibe. Hai dapa, hai. Habari yako uko mzima? Sitesi Mutindi, very locked. Sitesi, badilisa kwa signature. Badilisa signature. Kujeni. Mtandao ndio mbaya ama? Mtandao ni kama iko na sida. Heaven Dalton, hi. Akimbona. Uliaja skola bro. Uliaja ni nani? Victor Mutalima. Habari yako uko mzima? Pia mimi niko mzima. Vipi? Mzuri sana. DJ Desk ukoaje? Imerudi saa hapa sasa iko saa. Sasa nilikuwa nasema hivi. Mimi furaha yangu niliekeza kwa kukula. Na venye niliekeza kwa kukula, wewe mwenye umesema napenda kukula, nataka ni-invite lunch. Nikufunze. Meru tuko ndani. Asante sana watu wa Meru, mashemeji. Mashemeji. Asante sana kwa kutune in. Wa Meru. Dapa Mgotea host sana. Sawa, ndamsalimia Dapa man, unakaa poa. Wavunja shimo wanaume umewavunja shimo. Aya, Nancy Cherry, hi Dapaman, Gotea host sawa. Stacey Mutindi, Dapaman unakaa poa. Asante sana, nashukuru. Dero Mchaches, Nyeri, asante sana watu wetu wa Nyeri, mko salama? Pia sisi tuko salama hapa hivi ndani ya Obinna TV Studios. Mnatupata mkiwa wapi? Nyonyo. Game Grofer, vipi Dapaman from Sudan. South Sudan, da? Siwa maandika Sudan. Lemi Hillary locked. Asante sana, furaha iko ndani ya constitution na uko chapter mautam. Hata kukula iko kwa Bible, iko kwa constitution ya Kenya, katiba iko. Heaven Dalton nasema Nyamira, watu wa Nyamira ni Kisii, si ndio? Davido, Nyamira ni Kisii. Watu wa Nyamira wa Kisii wote, asanteni sana manse. Unajua ulikuwa na kasi mingi za kufanya, lakini sieti hujataka kufanya. Umechagua tu ukuje uone ni nini tumekuletea. Alafu kuna furugu tu. Mimi furugu tu. Wanitafutie sasa mtu. Pia mimi wanitafutie sasa mtu tuingie naye kwa ringi. Bosi alikataa kunipea Pamela, tuingie naye kwa ringi ni muonyese. Sasa this time round mimi naomba tu furugu tu. Tuende tu na mtu yoyote tu, mimi niingie na mtu yoyote hapo kwa ringi. Twende tu na mtu kwa ringi, kwa hii furugu tu.
Siaka.
Hiyo ni furaha ya nyama.
Yeah. Nyama has something to do with it. Also nyama. Na unanukia fiti?
Ni yale manukato tu.
Siku
hizi umeniweka mbele.
Dama man.
Siku hizi.
Oh wow.
Nikipita tu lazima wajue.
Oh okay. You smell really good.
Siku hizi na mtu mama aliniita kijana Obinna. David yako kwa choda. Anatoka kuna.
Hiyo toilet ya madam niweka kwa kesi. Do you know? Sijakwambia. Do you know my employees walinitukana walinishtaki kwa HR. Ujui?
Nilisikia kiundani wasichana.
Pamela, Mama Chantel, Katrina, Jackie Ogaga, Maggie Ndumia, Yvonne, Sharon, Dapa. Unakuwa na umama. Bwana walinishtaki kwa HR bwana.
Tumeenda kwa
juu ya hii washroom.
Hiyo siku ilisiba hiyo.
Nilienda tu siku moja.
Kunawa.
Si kunawa, ilikuwa mingi. Wageni walikuwa wengi pale chini. Sasa mimi nikapiga hesabu nikasema, nataka kwenda sasa ni relax tu vizuri nini. Unajua leo tumianga simu, unaweza kata 20 minutes. Uko kwa simu ume relax nini vizuri. So nikaona pale chini kumejaa watu nikasema wacha niingia. Hakukuwa na mtu. Alafu ni swafi. Nikasema hapa
ndio nataka.
Kumbe kuna snitch. Akaniona, akaenda akasema.
Wewe ndio ulikuja ukasema. Nakumbuka vizuri ulikuja ukauliza mwenye ameblokisha choo.
Wakakuuliza. Hiyo ilikuwa siku nyingine. No, siku nilienda twice. So mara ya pili nipate nimeblock nikasema hawa kuna mashida. Wakanishtaki kwa HR bwana. Sasa mimi nimeona David anaenda huko, wacha ajitafutie tu kesi. Mimi siku hizi hata hii kio yao sijiangalia hapo.
Lakini unajua boss,
kila mtu akae na washroom yake. Yaani choni yangu. Bro, unajua mimi nimejenga hicho.
Hatukatai.
Unajua choo ilikuwa hapa penye nani amekaa hapa. Hii ndio ilikuwa bedroom na hii ilikuwa choo yake. So nikatoboa hapa. Then pale nyuma sijui ilikuwa ni store. So nikapeleka toilet pale, nikabai hiyo toilet mpya nini, styles nini, kila kitu fitting ni mimi na pesa yangu. Alafu ninashtakiwa kwa HR, nimeandika kazi.
HR yako sawa. HR pia anatetea kazi yake.
Nishtaki kesi na mama wa hii kampuni.
Unajua niko na swali.
Acha nikae kwa nini? Msalani kwa choo kwangu.
Msalani sasa shimo venye walisiba yenye wanaendanga
kuenda. Choo baba, ainanga shimo.
Kwa nini inaendanga? Kinyesi inaenda wapi? Uliandika watu wenye kujianga. By the way nisikia kibiriti wanatengeneza kwa nini haja ya watu. Hiyo kibiriti hiyo ya
it's called sulfur. Okay, anyway, utapata size. It's a long story. Modern toilets hazinanga shimo. It's called piping. So your pipe ilikuwa inapale kwa wall. So I just extend the pipe to the other side, then ikarudi hiyo side ingine, so ikatolewa hapa. But basically it's safe to say Onesa amekaa kwa choo.
Unajua na wako tu hivi. Kumbe ako kwa choo.
And speaking of mambo ya choo, punguza kiwango ya nyama bwana. Bwana, watu wamekula nyama, watu wakawacha nyama. Korini umebakisha nyama? No, huyu ni mpokotisi, huyu hawezi bakisha nyama.
Hawezi wacha
huyu na nyama.
Kwanza amerudia ribo.
Akapiga nyama. Onesmus.
Kila mtu amepata akajiongeza.
Yaani nani Munez akabakisha nyama. Munez
amekaa saa 11 asubuhi.
Wewe nini? Ulinunua nyama kilo ngapi?
5 tu kama kawaida. 3 tupunguze. Watalia.
Sawa, wacha walie lakini kampuni si.
But unatuanga tu pesa hiyo. Alafu leo mdosi.
Nitapunguza.
Mungu akubariki. Tamko.
Wacha kunisalimia. Nitapunguza.
Siko kwa nyama.
Nimejua kwa sababu unanisalimia.
Sio hiyo ni kwanza niko na zawadi, wacha nikuletee.
Na umevaa nini kwa mguu? Kwani amevaa palms? Which shoes are making those noises? Okay. Alafu tell Caleb to bring me the other pillow. I want to see how it looks like, the bigger pillow. Tell Caleb to bring me the other the bigger pillow.
Maggie. Caleb.
Why are your shoes making that noise?
Najua nimesahau kuvaa sokisi moja.
Oh, I get it.
Zawadi nimepewa.
Ati to Stephen Thompson Mugasia.
Ni kama mwenye ameandika ni Mfilipino.
Oga Obinna at top. Huyo si mimi.
Boss. Mimi nimeambiwa nikupe.
That's not me, man. Is my name Stephen Thompson Mugasia?
But
Oga Obinna at top.
Amesema mdosi wako.
Basi wewe pelekea mdosi wako. That ain't
sasa
me, bro.
Ni nani?
Miss Jui, si upeleke Lady J. That ain't me, bro.
Fungua zawadi.
That ain't me.
Pengine cash nini kitu kako ndani.
Hakuna kitu iko ndani, tumejuanga venye nakaa. Steven. Mimi nakaa Steven.
Yeye ajui ni kama pia alikopi tu.
Na kwani nimetoka Reina Rosary Mission Hospital. Unaleta zawadi kutoka hospitali.
Sasa mimi nimepewa nilete, singefungua.
Coronavirus. Ile mpya inaitwa aje? Kuna ile mpya iko kwa bot. Ati antivirus. Kuna ingine mpya imeshika watu kwa bot. Haki Kale pia anakuanga kona nini, si ndio? Haki kampuni yangu hii.
Wamesema pilo bro umeleta box.
Si na pilo na box na yake. Oh.
Kampuni ni rehab center. Hatuko sawa. We are not fine. Put for me the red one, penye ile red iko pale.
Hapa. Nitoi.
Toa hii red uweke nyingine.
Hey, God, why?
Hapa.
Hey. Hey. God.
Anasema ukipali red iko alafu nyingine. Hapana, hiyo nabaki.
Ndogo na kubwa. Msinga na chesa.
Papa unichaze roho
niweze kusinda setani.
Papa unichaze roho
vaya niweze kumushinda shetani. Sema Papa unichaze roho vaya niweze kumushinda shetani. Papa unichaze roho niweze kumushinda shetani. Watu sasa wakikoma Ruti 11 Mungu alinitoa. Papa unichaze roho niweze kumushinda shetani. Timu ya mpira ikiitwa Liverpool nikani itaitwa Matumbo Pulu Arsenal. Papa unichaze roho vaya niweze kumushinda shetani. Sande Yesu.
Mtosi akitoa nyama mingi ugali pia inatosa.
Papa unichaze roho niweze kumushinda shetani.
Sande Yesu.
Sande mwana.
Bwana asifiwe.
Sasa kwa hii service sataka tunaanzia wapi? Upendi mchahara.
Omera.
Yes sir.
Potea.
Sorry. So
if you want to know the most patient man on earth after Ruto, Kindiki, number 3 ni nani? Ni mimi. Ruto anamuka kila siku asubuhi, anapata tu anaambiwa vitu, anatukanwa na nyoroshwa, anaambiwa one time. Kindiki anamuka naambiwa ana base, oye ni soprano sijui nini. Mimi namuka kila siku nina deal na hawa. Kwa hii kampuni watu normal kama simu moja ni wawili. Huyu clearly mwenzake ndio mumeona. Caleb ni mwingine.
Pamela.
Hui, hata usiniingize kwa Pamela sasa. Pamela sasa amesimamia ni women rep. Pamela, okay, kwa hii kampuni ni nani anakuanga 100%?
Mimi niko sonto kidogo.
Kwa hii kampuni tuko na Waluya wengi. Ama ni venye mnakula sana so mnakaa mko wengi. Tuko na Waluya ngapi kwa hii kampuni?
Watatu. Mimi wa kwanza.
Wewe peke yako ni Waluya watano.
Mtumishi.
So wewe
Katarina.
Mtumishi hajaandikwa kazi hapa, amejiandika. By the way guys, mtumishi alijiandika kazi hapa. Wachana na nywele yangu.
Kitu kamekuwa hapo nyeupe.
Wachana nayo. Mtu asizeke. So wewe na Katrina. Tuko na Mluya mwingine?
Ni sisi wawili.
So tuko na Waluya wawili. Wakisii ndio wengi.
Wakisii.
Ngoja Wajaluo ni wangapi kwa kampuni?
Wewe.
Ati wote mimi, Omosh,
Sharon,
Pamela, Sharon, Jackie,
Shelton.
Shelton ni Mjaluo?
Shelton
ni Mjaluo? Shelton si Mkizi?
Hapana, ni Mjaluo. Kipande inasoma ugu. Nick.
Na Nick.
Caleb.
Mpaka photographer mpya tena pia ni Mjaluo. Oh wow, interesting. So that's 8.
Ni hao tu.
Haya. But it's because Nick is my cousin. So hata tusimhesabu tumtoe. Kwanza Nick huyu ashavutwa kazi, mnaona ashapata replacement. So Nick mtoe, then to Mosh. Hao ni family, hao hata si employees. So tuseme
wanabaki
6. Haya. Wakisii Davido Vampire.
Nani? Nyanduko.
Yvonne Nyanduko.
Yao.
Think ni yao kwa sasa. Haya. Wakale.
Swimming power.
Government. Bwana no wonder tupati matenda bwana. Unajua nimekuwa nashangaa mbona matenda hazikuji. Muko na mmoja. Na hata si Mukale full.
Poko. Mworomo.
Wo lo.
Mumeru ni mmoja.
Amuna. Tafuteni.
Hatuna Murkomen.
Murkomen akwangi hivyo.
Bosi.
Tafuteni watu. Muone penye kipindi tutakuwa na studio. Unaona hii itakuwa ni reception. So tafuteni huyo.
Kuna nyama.
Ulichoache mimi mkali. Ati na ulichoache bwana mimi pagole.
Yeye ni mwejeje.
Yeye ni mwejeje sana leo jacket. Haya. Wakikuyu
mmoja. Ndumia.
Wawili, Mama Chantel. Mama Chantel ni Mkamba. So Magi ndio Msapere. No, kulikuwa na Msapere mwingine.
Kwanza leo amelia.
Nani amelia?
Huyu Magi.
Amelia nini?
Magi amepewa nyama bakuli. Anataka supu njagi. Sasa
hiyo ende kwa HR, hiyo mimi nitakutetea.
Sasa nimemwambia Jumatatu ijayo tutamkarangia supu kando na
nyama piece 3. Sawa. So tuko na Msapere mmoja. Wakamba
Miles.
Miles Mama Chantel.
Ni hao.
Kwani Munez ni
Mwembu.
Mwembu si Msapere? Siembu is a county ndio, lakini si ni Murima. Sie na Magindumi wanaanguka kwa Murima. Hadi Meru, si ndio? Leo Kindiki Muneza anapiga Kindiki. So Muneza anapiga Rigiji. Muneza kwa Rigiji. Huyo ni Murima. Ugarimbiri. Anasema kama ri, si ndio? Utapigwa. Uendelea tu kuongea mbaya hapa. Haya. Cynthia anatoka wapi? Huyu mwenye ame replace Nick. Wakisi wameongezeka.
Na waliuliza Wakisi na umenyamaza tu. Wakisi ni wani.
Onesimus wewe?
Mumeru.
Sio ni Murima, unaona Mumeru Masai. Sio unaona Murima wamekoribza ni wa 4. You see why I fired this guy? Si munaona? Nikifanya kazi munasema Obinna amefanya. Tumekuwa na break ya 1 hour. Msia kuona habadilishe betri ya huyu gaidi. Kazi ni kukula tu nyama na kusema mimi ni kazi ya mdozi. Kupost huko I have received good news of my entire life. Umepeana mimba? Ni good news gani hiyo Nika anaweza pata? Yenye hajaipata kwa maisha yake yote. Alikuwa amfanya mtihani akapita. Hajafanya mtihani, si ndio? Huyo naona hiyo kazi yake. Nyancho ka Cynthia. Chukua kazi kama yako. Huyo kijana anacheza na kazi kaki. Kuachana na yeye.
Cynthia for headphone.
Kuvaa headphone. Huyo jamaa kazi ni kuvaa headphone na kuvaa masharpshooter. Na kutembea hapa kibounce hivi. Na hizi ata change battery kwa nini? Very nice. The power of our thoughts. The infinite power within us. We are not just small part of the universe, like a small fish in the sea, but we are indeed the universe through our thoughts. SR inamaanisha nini sasa?
Sister.
SR ni sister? Oh. Sijai jua hiyo, that's new. Karibu niseme saa. Sema msahau kuweka I. Sister, Bakita. PRR inamaanisha?
Hapo sasa sindisi.
Professor. Oh wow, okay, thank you for this book.
Ndio huyu mwenyewe.
Uni sister? Mimi nakuwa brother. Thank you so much. When I can create time, at least I read it. This, how many pages? Let's see. Moja nini 97 nini 119. So this one 10 days. Nikisoma pole. Nasoma 10.
Hiyo page yote 10
I read
days.
15. If I read 15 pages every day, hata itamaliza 10 days.
Mimi niko na maktaba kwa nyumba saa hii. Lakini
Dapa!
Wallahi.
Mr. Stephen Thompson Mugana. Warm greetings to your family. Send this book with your work in mind. Many of the people you reach, interact with, support, often wrestle silently with their thoughts at different moments. Oh, thank you. Umejuana na huyu sister, si ndio? You are truly a living testimony of such victories as many who have passed through your care, including Mr. Joseph Olo. Unaitwa Mr. Joseph Olo?
Si ndio jina yangu. Si unanitumianga pesa mdogo.
Mimi wasikulipi bro, ni HR kulipa. Kuna watu hapa na mizi Onesma zimejua jina yake.
Mimi naitwa Joseph Olo Okoch.
Sio coach nimejua. Olo imetoka wapi?
Sasa hiyo ndio katikati.
Interesting.
Okoch ni surname.
There's a lot of people here, I don't even know their full names or their tribes. Mimi najuanga tu wamelipwa natumia wanaambiwa salaries ni easy. Ati Obinna huwa unasoma. I thought comedians ni wale walikataa masomo.
Unasoma?
Hey, just because people are funny does not mean they're also funny in nini. You know, I'm doing my masters by next year. Sasa tumefunga. I think by next week inafaa tukuwe tumeanza second semester. Tumefunga tu I think for about 2 weeks now because when I finished hiyo sem we did the exams so saizi. So probably in another 1 week after we've selected the units I'm doing this semester. Niliona zilitumiwa the course the unit, so I need to select, then ipige, then by next year, mid next year, kitu kama March, April next year, I'll be graduating with a master's. Mngoje muone.
Mudosi, soma mwaka.
That was a degree. So mimi ukifunga hizo long holiday, mimi sifungi hizo long holidays. Mimi unasikia sasa this is I think the second week. By next week I'm back, nipatiwe nijue fee yangu ni ngapi, ni set, nini nipige. Hivyo tu tukisonga. So the books the same way. By the way, there's a book that Kidero told me to read. Hata sijapata time ya kuisoma. But I'll read this one. Thank you so much. Ambia assistant asoma hiyo nini.
Mudosi, niko na swali moja.
Yes.
Unapumzikanga?
Yes, I do. Do you remember when King Kaka was here, King Kaka akasema the 40-minute rule? Nakumbuka? Alisemaje?
40 minutes rule.
Umedu?
Tupumzike.
King Kaka alisema ukiamka asubuhi, chukua 40 minutes, do one specific thing. Take a small break. Come back, take 40 minutes, do a different thing. For example, nikichukua 40 minutes asubuhi, nisome, nipitie nione, okay, these notes, nini, we had covered this topic, this is what is doing, this is what's required from me and everything. Then I take a break, then I come for the next 40 minutes, niangalia, okay, what do I want to improve on Obinna TV Studios? Huyu msee amekuwa anafanya nini, katumia miles, my voice note, nini, kachukua break, nikasema, now in my personal life, what does my mom need? My kids, myself, nini, nikaangalia, nikaambia Sharon, I need this clothes, there's this show, nini. By that time, nisha tackle shule, nisha tackle kampuni, nisha tackle private life. So nikikuwa na 40 minutes times 3, bro, nishamaliza everything that I need to handle in that day. So after hiyo mimi naamka naenda golf. Nikuwa golf kwa course, napigiwa masimu, nafanya nini, na handle a few things, maybe 1, 2, 3 hours. It depend how long I want to spend in the golf course. Ama if I'm going to the gym that day, I'll drop kids to school, go to the gym, then come back and do the same thing. Then ninge shughuli zingine.
Sasa uko na 120 hours. 120 minutes za kupumzika na kufanya vitu.
Hiyo si kupumzika.
Bado ni kazi ya
hiyo ni kazi. Kupumzika I rarely do, but I do sometimes. Like last week I was really struggling to find time to. I was supposed to rest on Tuesday, I didn't rest. Like the whole of last week's rest, by the way, because of that time. But when is it on Saturday? Tukitoka ile boxing match ya Kalakoda, I think it was on Saturday. I slept mpaka 10 a.m. Nilala mpaka 4 asubuhi. Yani niliamka nikageuka mpaka nikaamka mpaka sasa nikaanza kujiambia bro una dunini hapa kwa hii bed. Ambia wacha ufala, amuka bwana. Amuka uende penye utaenda. So at least I did that. Na nikimaliza hivi masters hata sitachukua break, I start doing my PhD. So by 2032 uko ni mbali sana. By 2029 ama 2028 nitakuwa daktari legit, si ya comedy.
Daktari.
Okay guys, we are preaching to the wrong nini.
Unajua sio vibaya kwa daktari.
Leta Christian gospel kwa Muislamu.
Sio vibaya kwa daktari. Unajua watu watakuchukua kama gaucho.
So then also it's not that type of doctor. Okay, it's fine. Well, let mgeni. It's fine. Hautapata. It's fine. When
daktari.
when you have a PhD, okay, it's fine. Let him gain. Let him gain. David anza kipindi hata ipata leo.
Nakuja
Obinna, you need to be here.
I am. Check it, guys.
This is Obinna Show Live. Coming to you live from Obinna TV Studios.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Obinna Show Live. If you're just tuning in, man, you've missed two interesting guests. Yes, Mheshimiwa Tandi was here, and before that one, we had a gentleman known as John Kimeu from Njoro. He's also vying for a political seat, member of parliament of Njoro. Yeah, and he's also doing a good job in civic education. Yes, but right now, we have another gentleman as well who's going to be giving you more civic education. And this one is a wakili. Last time he was here, he landed me in a hot soup, man. He put me in problems with Danstan Omari and the whole shebang. But he's back to put me into more problems. Well, on Obinna Show Live every Monday, we sit down with the who, we discuss with them the what and the why. Yes, we delve deeper into the matter that is happening, and then we get to see how and what is happening where. Alrighty. So, karibu sana my brother.
Thank you so much.
Hapa ni nyumbani, nimeona leo umekuja mpaka fully branded.
Leo ilikuwa maandamano.
Oh.
Today we were protesting.
You went with this attire?
Yes.
Ah, nice.
Why not?
Nice.
Yes.
Welcome back.
So we took a break.
Uh-huh.
There was no work today.
Uh-huh.
And we decided to show up in the street.
Okay.
We were not supporting just the matatu operators.
Okay.
We were supporting an economic problem
Okay.
that affects all of us.
Okay.
That is why I'm in my full combat today, not my suit.
Nimeona leo. Well, hata nimeshtuka. Nimeona I'm like, wakili, is everything fine? Patia wakili kinywaji bwana. Wata kushtuka hivyo umeona
How you bro?
Amepiga kombado.
I am here.
Thank you so much.
What
do you want to get me? What do you have that I can pick from?
I have here phone.
You have?
I'm reading here.
You're reading what you want to get me? Like, what do you have in your menu?
Nasoma comments.
Amekuuliza aje?
What do you have to offer to me?
He wants to offer me comments.
Hey.
What do you have to offer me?
Here I am here reading.
Aya, mwambie tu menu. Mwambie tu menu ya chakula.
Oh.
Mwambie tu menu.
Tumekula ugali.
Wakili, now let me consult. You'll send me an invoice later. I need legal regress. And they are getting to your nerves. Under what basis can you use to fire them and not incur problems with the labor laws?
So first of all, you can't just fire an employee because they get onto your nerves.
Hey.
According to the Employment Act, getting onto your nerves is not a reason or a legal reason for you to fire anyone.
Put it in there, because in this
There
case,
are certain thresholds that needs to be met. There are things such as misconduct, absence of work, abandoning the work, or refusing to do the duty that is delegated to you under your job description or maybe your contract. You cannot just wake up one day and fire someone. So yes, you can decide. But the moment you do it, you give this person a right for compensation in the employment courts of Kenya. So before you fire someone, that is why you have a legal officer in every company to make sure that the process of firing someone is legally compliant. Number one, before you even fire someone, you have to send them a notice to show cause. A notice to show cause is a letter
That's notice 1.
outlining the misconduct or the reasons that is met with the Employment Act. After that letter, you have to give this person time to reply to that letter. After the person has replied to that letter and you have read his response, you have to send him another second letter
Eh.
for him to show up at the disciplinary hearing.
We?
At that disciplinary hearing that you're having, it must compose the CEO of the company, it must compose the HR,
Wakili is fine, it's fine.
it must
Wakili
compose
is fine. It's
any
fine.
other person.
This one is unfireable, clearly.
After
Because-
that person has to defend himself.
Hey.
He has to, present all his evidence. You have to bring in witnesses from the company. After that, you have to send him a second
He's
response.
feeding the witnesses. He's cooking for them nyama. So the witnesses will be on his side because I'm a hunger. But clearly, even the person, if you write for them a warning letter in English, they will not be able to read it. So now,
You have a legal obligation to communicate in a language that someone understands.
homwana waingo nambo la koko wenyanga kufanya ibe
Umefanya nini sasa?
ni hujafanya nini? Hiyo ndo swali, si umefanya ni hujafanya.
Sijafanya nini?
Mkasirisha mdozi,
Pole mdozi, samahani, sitarudia.
si mara moja tu, ni mara mingi.
Najua, samahani.
Hujachukua private classes ya kujifundisha Kizungu, mgeni anakuja unaibisha kampuni. Makosa ya kwanza
Sasa nasoma kimombo kwa nyumba.
kwa nyumba, scholar na kufundisha English. Makosa ya pili, unakula
Kukula iko kwa damu.
hii si restaurant. Unaona job description yake kidogo. Patia mgeni kinywaji.
Kinywaji.
Kazi yako imeponea sana.
Asante
Ilikuwa-
wakili. Samahani. Asante wakili. Sasa karibu.
Thank you so much for the second time.
Na kusalimia mgeni mara mingi, hiyo tena ni makosa ingine.
Hiyo ni it's a trait for Luyas.
Ukweli.
Yes.
Sasa tuko na orodha ya vinywaji, tuko na maji fufutende, maji ya chupa, tuko na Red Bull, Predator, Fanta, Sichu, Coca-Cola, sarubati ya maembe, ya ndimu na ya apple. Pale nyuma pia tuko na Mateli, Yohana Mutembesi na inaitwa Bombo.
I don't take alcohol. Mimi sikunywi pombe. Mimi sikunywi pombe.
Kunywa pombe, samahani.
So get me an energy drink. Juu nilikuwa nimechoka sana. Energy drinks. Umesema energy drink? Red Bull. Yeah,
iko.
Red Bull. Nisaidie Red Bull.
Sawa.
The blue original one.
Sawa. Mudosi. Kusaidia ni
Niko sawa.
sawa.
Ukinisaidia tu na you are firing letter.
So for you to escape that, you trick the employee into resigning.
Dapa. Kuja.
Because if they do it willingly, then it is not your
Kuna
obligation.
kazi ingine na kutafutia kwa county.
Sijasoma.
Si kazi ya watu wamesoma, but ni kazi kwa county. Sasa mi nataka uresign.
Niko sawa hapa Mudosi.
Nimejua uko sawa, lakini sasa ile iko na pesa mzuri.
Msara hapa iko sawa.
Ile hata iko na chai ya saa 4 na chai ya saa 10, alafu ni kazi ya county. Sasa unaingia tu kwa ofisi, unaweka koti, unapotea, mshahara inaingia, unakuwa kama ghost worker.
Hapana.
Resign ni kuorganize hiyo kazi.
Anasema tu uandike resignation letter, usign tu na anakutafutia kazi mpya.
Niandikie kwa Kiluya. Nisome alafu nikielewa ndio. Hapa sitoki Mudosi. Kwa county.
Wakili. It's fine, it's okay. Wakili, hiyo plan yako backfire.
We have other plans.
We have other plans. We shall revisit people power. Speaking of people power,
Yes.
how is it out there? You've been on the street.
Yes, I've been on the street.
Where are you from?
fact-
Where did you go?
Okay, first of all, I stay, I don't like saying where I stay.
Don't
But
say
I-
just
somewhere along Muthaiga there.
Okay.
So I took a trip a little bit to Kiambu town. I was also in CBD, but it was difficult to get to CBD because most of the roads were closed.
By who?
By the people.
Oh, like road
Not by the
roadblock.
police.
Okay.
By the people. There were roadblocks. So there was no car that was willing to get to town. Even my friend that we were supposed to getting a ride to town, we could not also go with him. But for us, we were not reporting to work. We just wanted to show up to protest
With the
in
people.
solidarity with the people.
Okay.
Because we don't want to be part of that middle class who, whenever you call for protest, they still don't show up.
Okay.
So that is how the situation has been in town. But it is amazing to see that once again that people can show up in town and agitate for their rights now that every formal method that is required has failed.
Okay. Which formal method?
Of course, petitioning to parliament. The member of parliaments that we elected MPs who are supposed to be addressing this issue of fuel crisis in parliament. They're supposed to be agitating for special sittings, calling for the reduction of the VAT and all these levies that we are having on our fuel importation. But they have failed to
But
do
they
so.
said they tried.
What do you mean they tried? Is there someone that they have to report to?
No, they're saying, I even just had the chair of budget, Atandi here, and according to him and a few others that I've spoken with, if they look at the situation at the moment, that's the only best option that we have. One, they're speaking about the fuel prices, oil prices from wherever it's coming from. Secondly, they're speaking about the taxes that have been put up there that are going to help to pay a couple of debts that apparently have compounded from the Uhuru regime up to now. The debts have to be paid, and that's the only solution that we have. So they're saying it's not that they've not tried, but they've tried, but they've seen that's the only legal way. And they're saying the thing that Uhuru did that most people are not informed about, Uhuru did subsidies. So basically, he just moved money from somewhere else, akakushon lakini yobadi liko hapo. So when Ruto came in, Ruto removed all the subsidies from unga, nini, and even mafuta.
That is Samuel Atandi.
Yes.
Telling you that the reason why we are having high fuel prices is because of debt, right?
And he's in the budget committee.
And he's in the budget
committee. He's actually the chair.
We've asked all these cabinet secretaries to tell us what is the reason why we are having a fuel hike price. What have they told us? That we are having a global crisis in the Middle East. As the major reason. Why don't they want to be honest? In fact, what Atandi is not telling you is that the reason we are having a fuel hike price is not because our government decided. It was because IMF decided.
Just IMF.
Right now, the government is looking forward to borrow about 100 billion from IMF. And for IMF to give you that 100 billion, there is a certain condition that you have to meet. There is a certain projection that they do and they assess on your country. So the IMF was angry at Kenya because this is the second time we're having a contentious fuel hike in Kenya, right? It happened again in April. So Kenya reduced the VAT for fuel from 16% to 8%.
Yes.
I bet you remember when the president did that. And he was applauded for it as if he had changed anything. From 16 to 8%. At the same time, they introduced subsidies. And the IMF was very angry at what Kenya did. In fact, they say that it will affect our projection or our assessment if we want to apply for the 100 billion shillings loan. Recently, this head of IMF, the lady, she was here in Kenya. They were having structural meetings with the government to assess how we would access 100 billion shillings. So at that table, IMF told Kenya, please, if you want this 100 billion shillings, get the fuel prices high. But the government is afraid of telling you that because if you tell Kenyans that directly, then you wonder, does the IMF run our government or do we have an independent government? So they do not want to tell you that. They are lying to you that it is because of the Strait of Hormuz. the war in Iran, but they don't want to be honest with you.
Adrian, how do you know this information surely? And are you alleging? Unajua you the
It
last
is
time
not
you were here,
alleging.
you
No.
put me in a lot of problems, legally and illegally.
That is not alleging. In fact, it is very easy to predict patterns. You know, for most Kenyans who are not involved or really informed of what really happens, in fact, finances. In fact, I've not even mentioned the most technical issues to do with debt, because most Kenyans will not even have a comprehension or a grasp of it. And that is the problem we're having. But just look at the patterns. Number one, mid-2026, we are supposed to be applying for a loan. There is a certain requirement that you need to meet as a country for you to get that loan from IMF. It is written there. IMF comes to Kenya, have structural meetings with the country. If you assess us as a country, we are not able to get that 100 billion because there are certain things that we did wrong, such as introducing subsidies for fuel or reducing VAT for fuel. So IMF has simply told us that you guys, you don't run shit.
Let me ask you like a very innocent Kenyan. A loan is supposed to make the life better, right?
Yes.
Then how does increasing fuel prices make us eligible for a loan that is supposed to make our life better?
Because loans are serviced by taxes.
Okay. So basically the government just needs to show IMF how I'll be able to pay.
Exactly. Now in fact, you're
Imekupata.
getting it. In fact, the moment, because they're looking at a projection. If we give you this money, give me a projection that you can be able to pay this money.
Okay.
But the fact that you already reduced VAT from 16% to 8%, you already introduced subsidies to that fuel, they can predict that by 2027 you'll be having a problem with paying our debt.
Okay.
So they
it's
tell you
basically
what to do.
To be given a guarantee
Of
how
course.
you'll be able to pay.
But also, another thing on our fuel, you need to know that Obinna, there was a deal that they called government to government, right?
G2G.
G2G. I like to call it government to gangsters deal.
Wait.
Because it's from the government of Saudis in the Middle East
Yeah.
to our gangsters here in Kenya. So
Davido!
they go,
Sasa na disclaimer! Huyo ataniweka kwa sida yawa.
I've not mentioned who's the gangster, but I might. The G2G deal was supposed to be a new agreement whereby government to government were getting into agreements for importation of fuel and bypass this private sector that would independently agree on how they would independently import their fuel. So what simply happens is that our government of Kenya is supposed to be getting fuel from three key critical governments, right? Supposed to be getting it from Saudi Aramco, which is for Saudi Arabia. It's a government-owned corporation. They're supposed to be getting it from Abu Dhabi National Corporation of Oil, and they're also supposed to be getting it from Emirates National Corporation of Oil. These three critical companies. So they were supposed to be getting it directly from our government to our government. But it did not happen. It was supposed to go to our National Corporation of Oil for Kenya. But they refused. They said that it is going to be a government-to-government deal, but it is the ministry that is going to be involved in the negotiation for the importation, but we are still going to contract private oil marketers in Kenya. So we are not going to contract our National Corporation of Oil that we have in Kenya. We're going to contract private oil marketers. In fact, I questioned and I say, I thought you guys said it's government to government. If it's government to government, let the ministry do it, and let also the National Corporation of Oil be the one to be importing the fuel. So they got different private companies to be handling our oil importation. They got Gulf Energy, they got BE Energy, Oryx, Galana. Gulf Energy took a huge chunk of our oil importation, about 80% to 70%. Gulf Energy is a proxy of Ruto. The person who owns it is called Njogu, a billionaire. Njogu sits at the council of Ruto Investment Council. His daughter is called Roslyn Njogu. She's the principal secretary for diaspora affairs and foreign affairs. Look it up. So the proxies of Ruto are now the major importers of oil. So what happens with G2G? It was never meant to cushion or solve our problems when it came to oil. It was meant to cut off competition and only have a few marketing oil companies, about 5, 6, 4, to be taking the entire burden of importing oil. So when a hike in fuel happens, there is a very huge profit that these people are making.
Who Roslyn?
Yes. She's the PS. Okay, now look out for Njogu. Just search Njogu, owner of Gulf Energy.
Francis Kome Njogu is a prominent Kenyan energy entrepreneur and CEO of Gulf Energy. So what does this have to do with the president? Why you...
Ask which council does he sit at?
But he can sit at the council, yes, but that does not make him ati mtu akikaa kwa council sasa inamaanisha kitu surely.
And that's the reason why we call it prox. Because you are supposed to hide.
Omera.
The reason why we are calling it proxy, it's supposed to hide. It's supposed for you to ask that question. How is he connected? Because if it was obvious that you could see that Ruto is the owner, then that's not a proxy. So can the president wake up one day and say, I'm going to be giving out 80% of the importation of Kenya's oil to this individual? You take it.
So alipewa?
Yes. Because he is Ruto. So if they choose...
So unasema alijipea?
They are one and the same.
Where?
That is why John Mbadi is finding it hard to renegotiate fuel prices. John Mbadi has said that we have to wait for the president to come so that we can discuss the issue of lowering fuel prices. Why? Because the president is benefiting and profiting from this fuel hike. So he cannot do anything about the president profiting.
Kwani president ameenda wapi?
Azerbaijan.
But si nani amesema anarudi kesho?
I believe it's tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
So nani anangoja arudi ndio
anangoja president arudi ndio amwambie bwana
kimeumana.
Hii kampuni yako yenye import oil bana, naona you are supposed to be making 10 billion or 50 billion profit, lakini hao watu wanasema upunguze. So president anamwambia hapana. Achana nayo bana. We need the money.
To do what?
There are other allegations. I've not verified those allegations.
Oh, please don't say them here.
But they talked about the
Davido!
president wanting to... There is a new interest in oil in Turkana again.
Akina ngamia one?
We're talking about France in Kenya. We're talking about Aliko Dangote refinery in Kenya. There is a new interest in oil.
Okay.
And what this government has done so well is to convince Kenyans that Kenya does not have oil.
That part is true. Not only this government alone.
Even the previous government.
All of them.
They did so well.
Yep.
Including Uhuru, to convince Kenyans that Kenyans don't have oil. Anytime they go to the television, you ask them what happened to the oil in Turkana, they tell you that the crude oil is different. It is very hard to refine. It's very hard to use. That is the biggest lie they told Kenyans.
As if kuna mtu anachimbanga, anatoa oil imesha nini sasa, imesha kwa refined.
Exactly. That is the lie. They are stealing the oil. The oil in Turkana. They are stealing it.
Business.
It's business.
It's legit business.
Kenya has so much oil. And that is the reason even France has to take center point in Kenya. To have 800 soldiers in Mombasa and send its biggest firm, Total Energies. You know, Total Energies is a French firm. It is. It's a French company. And you know, whenever there is a new interest of something, there are people who privately benefit. When they say that Talo Oil Corporation is going to be mining, our president rushes to buy shares there. His proxies rushes to buy shares there. So that might what has been happening right now.
Where? Now, you're on the street today. The story we're beating right now, story tunatuanga right now,
Yeah.
it's about oil and everything about it. On the street, what are the people saying?
People are tired. And like I said, people are not protesting on the street because of that fuel price. That if Ruto wakes up today and say that I've reduced fuel prices to 90 shillings, people will be satisfied and say that, okay, now let's vote for him in 2027. Absolutely not. People are hungry because of the general economic problems that we are having in this country. The failure of this government to sort out the key important sectors of governance. We're talking about healthcare, SHA, not working. We're talking about education, capitation, we have lost it. We are talking about transportation, our roads are very pathetic. Those are the general problems that Kenyans are fighting for, a general economic problems that has been failed by this government.
Economists will argue and say the economy is doing better than it was doing during Uhuru regime.
And you know,
The Kenya shilling is stronger against the dollar. That's really improved.
what else?
Atandi was here and said they've done very well in agriculture, in farming right now, maize. We've had very nice returns.
You know, there are certain indicators, leave alone even economists. There are certain indicators that not generally show the real reality of economic problems in a country. And one of them is not exchange rate. That the Kenyan shilling is trading at 129 against the dollar. Now education is accessible to Kenyans. Absolutely not. People might talk about the gross domestic product of goods that are sold for a year in a country. We have not had the highest increase of our GDP. In fact, our GDP plummeted since 2022 to 2024. And then there was only a steady rise of our GDP, because that's the only thing that we can use as an indicator for our economy. But let us look at the critical sectors that a Kenyan actually feels. You know, when you want to talk about the economy and you tell a Kenyan that the economy is doing great, they will ask you very simple questions. Does my children have access to free healthcare? Do my children have access to free education? They don't. Because if an economy is doing fairly well, and the monetary value of what you sell per year can be more than 300 billion, it should be able to easily provide that free education, easily provide that free healthcare that most people can actually feel that now our economy is doing well. It can be able to lower the cost of living with products and prices. So whenever you ask someone, how is the economy doing, especially this government, they start telling you complex economic terms like our exchange rate, our GDP, but it does not reflect the reality of Kenyans on the ground.
Okay. You know that there's a finance bill that has been tabled
Yeah.
already. And I'd like you to touch on it because we are going towards June. And it has been tabled, and it has a couple of things that are on it. From the bill increasing residential rental income. We have also Income Tax Act that has been put somewhere there on Mitumba, and many more.
Yeah.
You as a law student, as a lawyer, you've studied this, probably you've checked it, you've perused somewhere. What are the good things about this thing, and what are the bad things about this thing that you should look out for?
Yeah, I've taken quite a bit time
to
look at it, and we're still reviewing it. One of my most critical issue of the finance bill, first of all, the government has been smart. The government knows what finance bill would have triggered for them, especially at this point. So what they did, they acted very smart. They did not want to introduce conspicuous taxes or taxes that are very visible. Let's talk of a tax of taxing bread, taxing milk, like it used to happen in 2024. So what the government has really focused on this finance bill that people have to really take care of is tax surveillance. The government has focused on tax surveillance so much that they want to empower KRA with so much power that even infringes our data privacy. They want to restructure certain access that KRA did not have so that this data surveillance works. And let me talk, for example, with something to do with, under the recommendations, I don't know which section it is, they talked about crypto traders sharing their trading history. If you look like a currency for crypto or crypto itself, fiat.
Hey, boss. Hey, that's there.
Yes, crypto traders must share their trading history. Must.
No wonder akina Amin wametorokea Dubai. My man. Oh, wow.
And you know the nature of crypto. Crypto has become popular because of its anonymity.
Thank you.
Because of its privacy away from the fiat traditional currency. So now, the government wants to, in fact, they're saying this. In fact, listen to the language. In fact, we always tell people that be careful of the language of the law. The law is saying this. If you're involved in any crypto trading right now, secretly, and you're not sharing the trading history with the government, the government will fine you 1 million penalty for that. You must share. So even if you're doing it secretly, that is an illegality under law. So we have a lot of Kenyans who own, even my friends in campus. I used to have friends in campus who used to have a Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoins.
Yeah, we have crypto.
But you
Ethereum here and there.
But you would never know about it. But how would you not know about it? It's because they enjoyed the anonymity according to how crypto is, right?
Wow.
You could never know about their trading history in the blockchain. But the government is now telling you, even your transactions on the blockchain, you must share it.
Norma. Does this happen in other countries?
There's no country that has instituted that. The only time that the government is involved with your crypto trading is when you want to transfer it into fiat. When, let's say, you've traded and now you're trying to get it into, the banks to invest it, to buy, purchase something, that is when the government is now involved, because now you're dealing with the profits that you're making by just selling cryptos with different cryptos. If I exchange Bitcoin with Ethereum
or whatever,
such kind of trading history, I don't think that the government is supposed to be.
But now they want to.
But now they want to. Okay. But aside from that, they want to be able to be given the access to be able to get to that. They've talked about 25% excise duty on phones. And I told people, the government realized one thing, Obinna, that look at these high-end phones, the iPhones, Samsungs. The government did realize that most people are importing their own phones. Back market, plug tech, Dubai, UK. Most people who are owning iPhones are importing them by themselves.
Yeah.
So the government wanted to target that market of people who were importing phones by themselves. So right now they're telling you that you will import a phone or you'll purchase a phone in Kenya. But the moment you activate it, you'll be charged 25% of the value of that phone. If a phone is 20,000, you'll pay 5,000 for it.
Sasa nikitumiwa kama zawadi kutoka Dubai,
you'll have to pay 25% of excess duty.
Hiyo zawadi ikae.
And we've asked one question, how are you going to charge me for that? How will you know? How will you charge me? Okay, I've bought a phone, I've imported a phone from back market in the United States, right? I have it. I activate it. How are you going to charge me 25%? So part of the powers KRA are looking for is your SIM card. KRA wants to be able to be given the power to deactivate your SIM card, access certain critical identifiers like IMEI number for your phone. They might try to deduct it from your M-Pesa.
eSIM,
very easy to deactivate right now. So that's why I tell Kenyans, they did not introduce visible taxes, Obinna. No, they were very smart with that. What they wanted is they want to increase their tax surveillance so that they collect more now that they have not introduced certain taxes.
Where? Iya mitumba?
Mitumba was a ploy. In fact, I say that they introduced Mitumba because Mbadi has already talked about removing Mitumba, the tax for Mitumba. Mitumba, I feel like it was reintroduced so that it can cause that outrage. Then the cabinet secretary wakes up and say, we have reduced the Mitumba tax that we want. But in real essence, you will not focus on most of the parts that are just as outrageous as that Mitumba tax that is there. So Mitumba, they have talked about removing it.
Okay.
But they knew that if they added that tax for Mitumba, it will cause a lot of noise because 80% of Kenyans wear Mitumba.
Okay. The residential rental income tax?
The residential income tax has also been increased, especially even for foreign landlords. But the most critical one is also on the issue of pay. Bill, because the government promised that we are going to cushion you because it is the salaried workers who are really suffering. They are having housing levies, they are having NSSF deductions, a lot of tax deductions. And the government told them, we are going to give you relief in 2026. That is what most associations, even the Kenya Bankers Association, they made those proposals to the Treasury to have reliefs for pay. But John Mbadi stood 3 days ago and said that we will not have any relief for our salaried workers. Keep on.
I've been looking for CS Mbadi. Ebu mumtafute. CS, I want to sit with you or your PS. Ebu tukae chini tuone hii finance bill. How did you guys come up with these figures and why and how and stuff? Because now I'm even seeing we have the bill is proposing to impose 16% VAT on fees charged by digital payment platforms.
Yes.
So if I use M-Pesa, Airtel Money and the rest, I pay 16% VAT again.
You pay it including cards swiping.
So this is what I'm thinking, okay? Ebu Kenyans, slow your brains down for me kidogo. Mimi ni Mkenya wa kawaida, mimi ni mtu wa boda boda. Nimebeba Obinna. Si ndio? Obinna kanilipa 200 bob. Ya yogurt nimembeba nayo. Nikaenda nikanunua mafuta. Tume ya so. nikaongeza kwa pikipiki. Kwa hii mafuta ya hiyo mafuta tayari ishataksiwa, si ndio?
Yes.
Pesa ama lipa na Airtel Money kuna percentage that transaction fee. Then tena kuna percentage ingine 16% tena inafaa tena ichukuliwe kama VAT. Kwa hiyo money payment nimemake ya hiyo So basically nikipiga fuel ya kuna 16% ya hiyo yenye itaingia kwa fuel juu imechukuliwa kama VAT.
Yes.
Lakini kwa hiyo mafuta naweka bado kuna tax ingine iko kwa hiyo mafuta. Ayawa. Si hivyo ndio inamaanisha?
You are right. In fact, what you are trying to communicate to Kenyans is that we are taxing everything.
Na hiyo simu natumia kuweka penye nilinunua umesema ni
25% excise duty tax.
Kwa hii simu.
Yes, to that phone.
Na hii nguo nimevaa ya mtumba.
Yes.
Taxiwa. CS, we need to sit down sooner or later. Better sooner than later.
Right, the CS might not. You know, the CS is a very outrageous person. The CS shouts.
Akuja shautia hapa to shout pamoja tu.
Obinna is just shouting, so I don't know if you'll have any coherent discussion with him.
Akuje. But there's this reduction of corporate tax.
Yes, there was a reduction of corporate tax, I believe, from especially for foreign investors.
Yes.
They reduced it from 30.5
31.5 to 30.
To 30, yes. They did it. But you know, that shows that we do not have a stable tax regime. If every day you're waking up, corporate tax is 30, corporate tax is 40, how will other foreign investors trust you to invest in Kenya? Difficult.
Kama CS atakuja tafuteni PS. Tukae chini tuongee because you are the ones who have come up with this thing and you know a way that you came up with the budget, how you made the budget. Break it down. We understand. Then also, this is what I said last time. That they will find a way to open phone lines here. So Wakenya wapige simu. Waongeleshe CS ama PS ama whoever is in charge of that docket. Wamwambia hapana, mimi kama mama mboga hapa naona hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi. Because before this thing is passed, kama finance bill kama last time wasema tumeshaipitisha, unajua nini. Hey.
In fact, they should have a genuine public participation. You're talking about public participation.
Yeah.
What did Mbadi do? Mbadi took students, university students from University of Nairobi, paid them 1,500 shillings. They met at a discreet location in a hotel somewhere in Ongata Rongai. Even the public members of Kajiado were not allowed to come for that public participation. Then he said that I've done public participation. In fact, in that public participation, you'd see students raising placards of broad-based. And you know, just students ni watu wenye wako na njaa bana. Student leaders. 1,500, unapea huyu 10,000, sema give me 100 students to come here and shout. That was not even public participation.
Bro, mambo ni mingi. Anyway, solutions. Before we move on to South Africa's Xenophobia, before we talk about the Africa Forward Summit, now let's talk about the economy first in Kenya at the moment.
You want me to give solutions?
What do you think can be, not to give?
I can't give solutions.
Of course. However, what do you think can be done differently?
For the finance bill, I think to decide to lower our taxes. Number one, when it comes to an economy, the things that sprang up an economy is how we utilize our resources, our natural resources that are limited.
Yeah.
And our natural resources are things such as our labor, our land, our agriculture, our minerals, all this. So most of the utilization that we need to do cannot happen if we have such high taxes. If we are going to want investors to come into the country, for them to utilize our labor to work for those companies, they cannot come when you have a corporate tax of 30%. When another country like China does not gives them tax-free, or a country like Dubai does not impose any tax on them. So we have to be deliberate about cushioning certain critical things that enables us to grow. The investors, let them come invest in our country. Without that 30% tax, you're talking about 31 to 30%. How is it going to attract an investor because you reduced it at 1%? It is not going to do it. So we need to focus on things that helps us grow as a country or utilize our natural resources from labor, from minerals and all this. That is the general thing that our government is failing to do. And if you look at countries like the Middle East, they were very deliberate with that. When the Middle East was calling real estate developers from around the world, telling them that you can't build your buildings here in Dubai and we will not tax you for it. It's not because they were good. It is because they knew how important that is for their country. That in a few years we'll be having hotels springing up in Dubai that will be creating jobs for our own people. So let us have a finance bill that has a vision for the country and not just a 1-year goal that we look forward to with things such as debt payment. Ridiculous.
Okay. Africa Forward Summit just got concluded. What's your overall assessment of the whole thing?
That summit of France was a publicity stunt to restore the battered image of France. For me, it is the usual operation of colonial seduction to give neo-colonial relations a new lease of life in another part of the continent, which is now East Africa, after failing in West Africa. The lie that Macron told people, or the image they're trying to create, is that we are trying to expand into other parts of Africa. Absolutely not. They were kicked out in West Africa. Since France took power, they have done about 30 to 29 summits around the world. Not around the world, in Francophone countries and France. The last summit was held in Africa was held in 2017 in Bamako. The summit that was supposed to be held in Africa again was in 2021. But it wasn't held in Africa. Why? Because of the tensions in West Africa. In 2020, there was a coup in Mali. In 2021, there was a coup in Niger. In 2021, there was a coup in Guinea. In 2021, there was a coup in Gabon. In 2021, there was a military takeover in Chad. In 2022, there was a coup in Burkina Faso. Let's look at the attempted coups. There was an attempted coup in Central African Republic in 2021. There was an attempted coup in Benin in 2025. There was another attempted coup in Guinea-Bissau in 2022. Look at the protests that happened, the anti-France youth protests. There was an anti-France youth protest in Senegal, whereby the youths of Senegal torched and burned supermarkets, shops, petrol stations that belonged to French companies. The same happened in Mozambique, until even the SADC forces were sent because the Mozambique youths were getting to the French embassy. That was the situation in West Africa, and West Africa communicated that they do not want France in West Africa. And people ask, like, we also have Britain. Why are you complaining about France? France is a ruthless country. France does not operate like the Britain does. And that is why people, whenever France comes up, people talk about it, especially Pan-Africanists. They talk about it so much more than any other country because France is a ruthless country. France has done over 120 military interventions. I'm talking about direct military interventions in Africa, something that the British has not done, even though they are still there. But France has done it directly. They bombed a village in Mali. In fact, they bombed a wedding in Mali. And you know, people don't really understand the structure of how France got to control Africa. Let me tell you, Obinna, let me make you understand. This is what France did. France colonized about 20 African countries. So there are certain African countries that have very high resources. There is the Western African part and the Central African part. So we had countries such as Niger, Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Chad, Central African Republic. So before independence, in fact, France did not grant independence to these countries. What was happening was that France were finding it expensive to maintain resistance. France had lost in Algeria. So they were finding it difficult for them to maintain that resistance. So they woke up and say, you know, in fact, for us to avoid this, let us just give them independence. But France did it differently than Britain. In fact, Britain gave it to Kenya and said, form your government. France presented a pact to Western African countries and the Central African countries. And they told them that for us to give you independence, you must sign this document. So what did the document provide? They provided something that we call CFA franc. So they said that African countries, you people, you don't know to manage your money, so we are going to manage your money for you. So they created something that we call the CFA franc. Number one, did you know that those countries don't have central banks? They don't. In fact, we are having 14 countries that only have 2 central banks. So France created 2 central banks, one for the countries of West Africa and one for the countries of Central Africa. Deciding the parity of the currency, meaning they decide the value and the exchange rate. France will have representatives in those 2 central banks. And those representatives must have veto power. This means that if you as Africans make a decision, they can decide to block it because they have the veto power. Then number 4, they decided that every African country must deposit 50% of their reserves in the French treasury, not in your country.
In France.
In France. And they lie to the people and tell them it is because of issues like financial crisis. In case you have a financial crisis, we'll be the one who has 50% of your reserves to help you. But it is because of sanctions. If you are a president and you wake up and say, we don't want France, somebody who has 50% of your currency reserves, sanctioning is very easy. Your entire economy.
You're being told you're in charge, but basically you are installed as a puppet.
Yes, but they did it violently. I know most people think that the pact was presented and everyone signed. In fact, the moment that pact was presented to president, they said, what is this? What do these people take us for? But France told them, we are going to show. In fact, every country resisted. Do you know what France did? France came up and destroyed most of the buildings in those countries. They clogged the boreholes, they clogged the waters and told them that we are the ones who built most of this infrastructure. So the moment other African presidents saw what happened, they say, we do not want this to happen. This is catastrophic. They even threatened them with military interventions. So they were forced to sign that pact. And that is what has led to the stagnation of West African countries. So France is coming to Kenya and is telling Kenya that now we are going to help you develop. And I asked someone, do you think that Macron sat in Paris and say, okay, we have $15 billion, Obinna. Let us go and invest it in Kenya. Kenyans need this 14 billion.
Several deals are already signed. Energy, rail, digital transformation. We have blue economy and many others. So you're trying to say these ones kidogo, and even Macron pledged very significant investments.
So the countries that hosted 29 different summits with the same goals that you're talking about, they are amongst the poorest in the world. Senegal, Niger, they are the poorest countries in the world. So 60 years of their cooperation with France, they have never progressed. But France is now coming to Kenya telling you that we are now going to help you progress.
But we are different.
How?
Umeona huyu mwanaume amekuwa mwabusive kwa demu yake, tena nakukatia ka dem, na unamwona akipiganga huyu bibi yake
Exactly.
na anakukatia na anakwambia but wewe unajua, alafu unaingia tu box. You start thinking maybe that girlfriend has a problem, that's why this boyfriend is abusive.
And women do it. I've seen it.
It happens.
Yes.
Then unaingia pia wewe unaingia ndani kidogo, unataka kutwangwa, then unataka kulia watu, oh ningejua. Ni uliona, you saw the signs.
Yeah, you saw it. Women, in fact, women don't even care about it. Women wanaonaga their friend is being mistreated, akishakatiwa ameingia box. So that is what is happening with France.
Wow.
And you know, the worst part is about the military of France. Before even the summit, there was a cooperation agreement that was already signed. And 800 troops were already in Kenya.
From nini?
From France.
So tuko na France soldiers huku?
Yes, we have them. And they have side immunity. Immunity meaning, in case they do anything in their duties, in case in their operation and duties, they do something criminal. Anything, even if it is murdering someone.
Yeah, even abuse.
Even abuse, you are not supposed to be prosecuting them. In fact, I was wondering, if France has your best interest at heart, why are they asking for immunity? Why don't they conduct their duties just rightfully within the law?
So we have 80 military officers.
800 military. 800.
Kwa nani alikuwa anahesabu? Kwa nini umejua maneno?
It might be more.
Tuko na 800 French military people. Wako wapi?
They're in the port of Mombasa.
Wako kwa port.
They're in the
Kwa
port.
mbebo kama mzigo.
They're waiting to smuggle minerals. Do you know why there was military presence in West Africa? Let me give you the secret. I want to give you the secret of military cooperations. The military of France or any other international bodies does two things. Number one, to stop an uprising against the president they support, the dictator. Number two, to smuggle minerals. That is what has been happening in Niger. In Niger and in Mali, when there was an uprising against the president, the first thing France did, they sent out the French mercenaries and they killed the person who was supposed to be overthrowing the president. So if today you wake up and let's say I try to overthrow Ruto, the French will assist you and they will kill that person and make sure the president that has our interest at heart is there. But the worst part is smuggling. If you can get minerals for free, why can't you do it? In Niger, things like uranium, France pretends that we are in this mineral region for peace. But every night, those armed people are there to protect certain shipment or planes that are carrying away minerals. And it happens. It is not a conspiracy. It is not a conspiracy. They smuggle and they steal. But that stealing can only happen if there is enough security. And that security can only be done by those armies.
Why? Copied. Loud and clear. Did you see when Kenyans were piga kelele, then President Macron akwambia atandika noisemakers? What do you think of that part?
Who does Macron think he is?
The president.
Who does he think he is?
President.
To come and lecture us Africans. A president who is hit by his own wife, a less masculine president who is beaten by his wife, comes to Africa
Adrian,
and tells me,
Davido,
a masculine president.
Disclaimer.
It's
Hata kama ni kweli weka disclaimer. Mimi sitaki kazi sasa, imagine mimi should by the government.
That is verified. It is, in fact, even they made a report about it.
Mr. Kesi out of France.
A president who is beaten by his own wife, a less masculine president, comes to Africa and tells me, a black masculine man, that I need to shut up.
You know that most of the time when people are beaten by their wives, you know that they cannot beat their wives black and blue. It's just because when you do it, the consequences are dire than, then also just being human, you don't get into that. Anyway, about the ye kuambia watu, forget even about story at tell us blacks, si watu walikuwa na kwa raudi wanapiga kelele, haukusikia hiyo? Akwambia ni aje, hebu tuheshimu hapa, tuache kupiga kelele hapa. Sasa makosa iko wapi?
But that is an indication that people are not inspired by what you're bringing to them. If people were so inspired by what you're coming to do to them, they would have sat there in silence trying to listen what is going on here. But why were people making noise? Because they knew this is one of those random summits that is just for seduction and nothing else happened. So he stands up and tells people, please, hey, shut up. Like he still owns us.
Breathe, bro. Breathe.
No.
Before we talk about the xenophobia happening in South Africa, there is a walk that we are doing, and I want you guys to be part of this. All right, so we have a major walk we're doing. You know that I am very passionate about mental health awareness, and we are doing mental health awareness walk. It is happening courtesy of Grace World Foundation. Yes, and I'd like you guys to be part of this. It's on the 30th of May. There's a free medical camp as well. And we are doing a mental health awareness campaign. So we'll be walking from Utawala Chiefs Camp all the way to Graceland City Church. That's 2.5 kilometers, starting at 8 a.m. in the morning. There's going to be the community health outreach and also food distribution. So I want you to check this out. The poster should be on the screen, and you can get to come and join us on that day. All right. Having said that, we have a QR code that is up here on the screen. David, ukiweka hizo posters zingine unatoa hiyo QR code kwanza na unaweka alafu unarudisha. So ukiweka juu ya QR code inakaa ni kama QR code pia ni ya nini, hiyo QR code ni ya buy me soda. Wanasema kwani Graceland Church inataka you buy them soda. Yeah, so we do have a QR code up here. It's buy me soda. You can get to support the show. If you love the show and you're enjoying what is happening, scan it. Unaweza nunulia kasoda hapo. We very, very much appreciate. And for those who have not commented, have not subscribed, my friend, what you doing, man? What you doing? Maggie, Chuka yako amefika wapi? Ameacha kuchukua simu. Hebu lete namba yake hapa tumpigie. Kama alikuwa amesema anakuja alafu tena all of a sudden nashiki simu kwa nini? Mbona watu wa forex wanakuanga hivyo sometimes? Hebu lete namba ya Chuka Kenyan Prince hapa. Suni weke hiyo 68.
Yes.
Aya. All right, well, that is ringing. Davido, put for me the squeeze back for Vurugu. It is happening on the 20th of June. We're doing Vurugu edition number 2. And I'd like to invite you guys to come on board and have a good time. It's going to be a night of entertainment and sports. We have about 15 different fighters in one ring. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon. Starting at 3 p.m., going all the way until midnight. We have Ruga performing live. We have Calligraph Jones and many other artists, DJ Mo Spice and Kimnik D, of course, and many other DJs as well coming on board. So tafadhali, get your ticket from ticketraha.com. The link is on the description. So tusikuhate pale. Alrighty. Chuka Kenyan Prince ashiki simu. He was supposed to even be here before Adrian. Alafu Adrian akakuja mbele yake. Sasa tena ashiki simu. Ni moto. Watu wanaogopanga kukaa kwa hii kiti. Watu wanaangalianga wanasema, we, tuende tukae kwa ile kiti mambo ichemuke. Tuambie tuonyeshe account, kumbe tuko na demo account.
Tuonyeshe trading.
Tuonyeshe trading. Unafikiria kila mtu ni amini? Mwenye anakuja anakaa chini anaambiwa fanya na nawekelea na tunatoa pesa. Si kila mtu anafanya hivyo. Kuna wale wenye stay guided. Ya Chuka Kenyan Prince ashiki simu. So we'll see. However, also we gonna be having let me check this list for you. So I tell you who's coming up next. Because huyu kidogo. Yeah. So we do have a gentleman called Elisha. So Elisha is the new speaker for Jacaranda. bunge la mwananchi.
Yeah, I know about it.
I understand there's been a coup.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere on Mutebei TV.
Or ni president. Tofauti ya president. Yeah, he's a president. Oh, wow. Sorry, Mr. President. Ati anategea nimrudishie gari. Sasa niko Kinango. Hizi kaa haya we. All right. So that is the story about Chuka Nini. But now we have another president for Jacaranda. We're going to be having a conversation with him as well. If Chuka Nani doesn't make it, he will make it, and we'll have that conversation. Now, Wakili,
Yes.
Xenophobia.
My drink is up.
Oh, you want more? I think he put it down here. He put it here. He put it here.
But you know, you will be advertising for them.
Yeah, and kumbe we ni mjanja. Kumbe umefanya hii mambo yenyewe. We ni watao. So in South Africa at the moment, it's something they've done before. And they've redone it, then now they're doing it again. Wanamukanga tu one time when I realize foreigners are taking their jobs, they start fighting, they start killing, beating, maiming. What do you think about this?
First of all, if you look at the xenophobia that is happening in South Africa right now,
Okay.
and this, you'll only hear this from me, not any other person.
Okay.
I'll not give you a take that you've been seeing about white people. South Africa is not organic. All of a sudden, it has gotten so much attention from the media houses, from across Africa, from the entire world. And even the people who are orchestrating that xenophobia have gotten so much power that they would beat another fellow African, but the police does not interfere with arresting them.
Yeah, I've
Are you
seen
seeing
that
it?
part, yeah.
They have not been arrested. It is because that xenophobia is engineered by that. Because what they want to do is they want to shift away the rage of black people, of their economic problems that are caused by the white people there, and shift that rage to the fellow African who's in that country. But because also South Africa is a very fundamental country, economic-wise, culturally, in the entire of Africa, it is a very key tipping point to undermine the integration of Africa that has been called forward, especially this year and a few other years, by Ibrahim Traore and a few other revolutionary leaders. So the moment you start with South Africa and you dismantle that integration, it spreads to other countries. Right now you hear people saying that I also don't want South Africa in my own country. That is the aim of that xenophobia in South Africa.
Okay.
It is created because you sit and you wonder, why has it gotten so much attention? Why is it that the South African people know clearly that the problems that are facing is because of the white Afrikaans, white Dutch, or the British in that country, but it hasn't been forwarded to them. It has just been forwarded to the black people in South Africa. And if you talk to other South Africans, like I have so many friends from there, and they tell me they also feel this thing is not right. Like, it's true there's an economic problem in South Africa. Very right. And that one we cannot downplay. But the way we are driving it towards illegal immigrants in South Africa sounds so off. In fact, they told me, like, nobody feels that way. Nobody in South Africa feels like they want to kick out a fellow South African. They don't. But also for the people who feel that that is right, I tell them, how is a fellow African causing the problems of South Africa? And you know the most ridiculous thing, Obinna, in South Africa, there has been this internalized self-racism on black people, such that they see a South African as a person who belongs to South Africa, but they don't see a Zimbabwean as someone who's supposed to be belonging to South Africa, when Zimbabwe even has languages that they share. Just like we're having Luos for Uganda and Luos for Kenya. They don't see that. So that internalized self-racism has made them to be very comfortable with white people, but not comfortable with black people, because they also hate themselves as black people. So they're projecting it towards other black people. And the white people in South Africa are not South Africans. They are not. The Africans who own most of the land there, the Africans, they call themselves Africans, but they're Dutch. They came there in around 1700, 1600. They don't integrate with the population. They don't marry fellow South Africans. They have their own estates whereby black people are not allowed. Cape Town, I've been to Cape Town. Cape Town is entirely white. There are certain places where black people are not there. It has been happening from 16-something, since apartheid. But a black South African still sees that white person as someone who should be belonging there just because their great-grandfather came there in 1600. But their great-grandfather did not come there peacefully. They came there violently. They stole the land of the people of South Africa. They beat the people of South Africa. They killed. But they feel like those people belong to South Africa. And I tell people the first thing that you have to do for the freedom of South Africa is to make the decision that white South Africans are not South African, even if their grandfather came there.
So you don't believe there are some that will be
I don't.
By birth?
I don't.
Grandpa came, dad was born there. Great-grandpa came, grandpa was born there, dad was born there, I'm born there. You believe that will not make you...
I don't believe that. I've always believed that for you to be integrated in a country, even as an immigrant, not even someone who's born, you have to share the identity and the genuine belief for the love, for the people, for the progress of that country without discriminating anyone in that country. And the white people of South Africans are the opposite of that. They don't share any genuine love for the black people. They don't share any progress for the black people. They alienate themselves from the entire population. So how would you term them as South Africans if you don't share that belief of the natives themselves? If there is a white person who comes to Kenya here today and has the genuine belief and expression for Kenyans, I would term them as a Kenyan. But if you don't share that, I would not deem you, even if your grandfather was born here.
I was in South Africa and I faced racism. I would not even call it racism because of from other blacks. Like in the hotels I was staying, I was just looking at them and just like, wow. The way you are treated, the way you are handled, the way they talk to you, the way they think. I'm looking at these people, I'm like, I'm black, bro.
In fact, if you go to Cape Town, it's worse. Cape Town is, you walk on the streets of Cape Town and you just see white people everywhere. Did you go to Cape Town?
No, I was in Joburg. I don't mind seeing white people,
No.
but I mind being profiled based on my skin color. Like I was profiled, like I would walk, I would see the way whites are being treated.
Yes.
I would sit in a restaurant, like there's a hotel I went to in, was it Pretoria? And I would sit there for like 15 minutes. Nobody's coming to ask me what I'm having, but the whites will come and sit for just 2 minutes and someone has already come to ask them what they're having.
The same happens in Cape Town. You go to in fact, the first thing, if you are a Kenyan, the moment you go to that restaurant, you find white people, then you're like, okay, this is South Africa, let me just sit. Then you just see the difference of how you're treated.
The way I was, do you know even people carry bags? You know, if you go to restaurants here, like hotels, these big hotels, first the person will welcome you from your car, then can I help with your bag? Can I do whatever? In a sense, they're just waiting for you. You do whatever.
You do this.
Carry your bag. Even when you do that, they're not coming. They just look at you. And then you come, they're like, okay,
but
we are staying.
Obinna, have you ever questioned, why is it that a black person does that way? So
there's conditioning.
Exactly, you're
It's
right.
conditioning.
There's a book that is called Black Skin, White Masks. Black Skin, White Masks. It's by Frantz Fanon. It talks about that concept of internalized self-racism that has been conditioned by white people. Look at a concept like hair, our hair. Like for me, when I keep my hair so long, and somebody says that, or even dreads, somebody looks at your fellow black person and says that, you know, that hair is not tidy. But then you ask them, who actually taught you that your hair is bad? It is indoctrinated in them by the white people.
Yep.
That I would look at a white person with long hair and I would feel like that is okay, because I've been seeing them in TVs, I've been seeing them in movies. Every time I grow up, their hair was always long, but not like mine. So whenever I see a black person, it has been internalized in me that they're supposed to act this way. So that thing has even turned into hate for the black people. So we have been internalized to believe that white people are better than black.
To find the head is a white person, it changes, it makes us think English is a measure of intelligence. If someone can't speak clear English, you're like, we only fala. Well, like, and then when someone speaks very good English, you're like, this one looks like a leader. You're like, me, I've seen Kikuyus here who can say English, but business, bro, and the billions they are raking in monthly. And then I have Luos who say English and use words like psychomotor. And you're like, brother, send me lunch. It's like, wanna
stay guided.
Yo, but it's okay. Yeah. So that there is that part. Anyway, story for another day. Is there any other topic we have not covered with you? Is there any other thing in your chest that you wanted to let out? Ama tumeguza pia.
We're okay.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Final submissions, camera ndio hii hapa, ongea na Wakenya wakusikize and your fellow law students.
Well, for me, I just want to advise Kenyans to keep on fighting. Let's keep fighting for a better country. And I love the awakening that is there generally for Kenyans. I know we have seen today their high fuel prices. It's not going to get better until we take the mantle and the genuine decision to change in 2027. So let's fight and hope for the best. That is it from me.
All righty. All right, thank you so much for watching this one. Comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to see you guys in a short while with the brand new president from Jacaranda. See you in a bit.
Wow, are your walls looking plain and uninspired? Transform your space with premium wall panels, elegant marble PVC with stunning backlighting, and modern floating TV stands. All designed to give your home a luxurious, timeless finish. At Mr. Frames Kenya, we offer top quality designs at unbeatable prices. Whether you're going to a classic or modern look, we've got the perfect solution for your home or office. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0705 759 102 or connect with us on social media. Mr. Frames Kenya. Mr. Frames Kenya, where
the way you look, this is sandals, bro, by Kiatu. 300 for sandals.
Do you know how
much these heels cost?
No, Oga, you know these shoes. How much? Can you compare with these?
Bro, look at these.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tell me about it.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
28?
Yeah.
Then you're still roaming around looking for love.
Yes.
You know, as a woman beyond 25.
Let her finish.
Okay, that's good. That's
Okay.
good. Let me calm down.
And
Let me
another
calm
thing,
down.
when he was introducing himself, he said he's from Coast. He kind of tried to talk like ametoka Coast. Kidogo anaongea kama Nigeria. Like, too much faking.
Obinna, you need to be here.
I am. Check it, guys. Need water.